Hello, this is Virtualis the Chess Noob, learning and having fun with chess. This was my fourth win in round one of the lower rated Aussies 2021 Christmas Challenge tournament. This game was a rematch against the opponent I played against in the game on this channel from a couple of days ago. This time my opponent had the white pieces and I black. My opponent opened very well with the Ruy Lopez, or the Spanish game, and we were basically even up to move 10. What happened next? Please enjoy. All right, so in this game, so fairly evenly matched, the lower rated Aussies 2021 Christmas Challenge round one. Let's first have a look at the review. So this is a chess.com algorithm, reasonably short game. I think we finished in 18 moves. So fairly even. Oh, a blunder here by me, but wasn't punished. And then the opponent makes a blunder of their own, and I sort of maintain the lead after that. I did all right, I think, 81.6% accuracy, some good moves and one brilliant move, which we'll see in context. We each had some blunders as well. Let's go to the analysis. So I played with the black pieces, opponent white. They started e4, I played e5. They played knight f3, knight c6, and the beginning of the Ruy Lopez, bishop b5, direct attack on my knight. Now, against the Ruy Lopez, I usually play the Berlin defense, so that's knight to f6. They captured the knight immediately, captured back with the d pawn, and the game continues. Short castles. I develop bishop d6. Had an opportunity to directly capture the pawn there, but I didn't particularly like having the exchange, and the challenge, of course, is that the opponent has castled, but I have yet to castle. Opponent develops their other knight, c3. I short castles now. Opponent now plays d4, and here I actually make a mistake, which I didn't see. So I played rook e8. Now this doesn't work because the opponent can capture now with a fork, and the problem is I cannot actually capture back because let's put it on self-analysis. So if they capture, I try to capture back. The queens now look at each other, which means that they can now capture, and I cannot capture back with rook, which was the whole point of placing the rook onto the e file, because I will then lose my queen. In fact, that would be close to checkmate. So that was an error, to simply move the rook to e8, thinking that it was a possible defense. However, the opponent doesn't punish me for that move, and they play bishop g5, and we're back to basically equality. Here I play bishop g4, now pinning that knight to their queen. So I suppose a very symmetrical position at the moment. And now they play the best move, d5, so locking the center. So capturing here no longer quite works because there is now an extra attack there. I capture that pawn with my c pawn. They capture back with knight, and here I sort of asked the question, what are they going to do with that bishop? Now I expect the bishop to go back to h4, but here the opponent makes a fairly big mistake, a blunder. They retreated their bishop to e3, which means that they are now hanging that pawn. And I saw that, so I captured the pawn. Chess.com, Stockfish thought that this was a great move. They sort of compound their error of trying to move their knight back to c3. But given that I'm now ahead, I push forward with the initiative, capturing. They capture back with pawn. And so in this position now, I'm slightly ahead on material, but better positionally because they've just damaged their pawn structure. Um, and what I saw here was that this knight, because it is pinned, is now subject potentially to an attack. And I was fairly certain that if I pushed the pawn to that position, I should be able to capture that knight for the, basically trading my pawn for the knight. So I do that. The opponent tries to do some counterplay, playing rook b1. Here, I just negated that by playing b6. Stockfish thought that I could capture straight away, but I didn't like the idea of having a rook, down onto what is my second rank, or the 7th rank. The opponent now makes another fairly big error. I thought it was interesting that that Stockfish doesn't think that it makes that big of a difference. But basically here, I now potentially have a discovered check, and then that queen would be lost. However, I started the sequence by capturing first. They captured back, and now what Stockfish reckons was a brilliant move, the discover check, without there being the knight there. This can no longer be captured that way. So king forced to capture. Now my queen captures. Of course, they capture my bishop back, but now I am substantially up on material. King sort of out in the middle of nowhere with no defenders, damaged pawn structure. I was very, very happy with this position. And according to Stockfish devaluation, I'm completely winning here. So I make one more move, placing the king in check. And at this point, my opponent, I saw the writing on the wall, graciously resigned. So good game to the opponent. GG. Unfortunately for my opponent, hanging the e4 pawn on move 10 resulted in a weakening of their position. Later on, the discovered attack on their queen pretty much ended the game. I had two insights from this game. Firstly, you have to be careful with allowing ongoing pins against your valuable pieces. Secondly, keep an eye out for discovered attacks with check. These are forcing moves with little opportunity for counterplay. I've really enjoyed playing the tournament so far, much more than I expected. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.